Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of the New to Wrestling podcast. This week, we watched the July 21st, 1997 edition of Raw is War, and the match card is as follows. In our opening contest, we have Vader taking on Ken Shamrock. In our next contest, it is a light heavyweight match between Brian Christopher and Brian Walshe. I'll tell you how you can distinguish those later, not by much, I guess. The following match is a three-way tag team match between the Godwins, the Headbangers, and the New Blackjacks. Triple H takes on the Patriot. Goldust takes on Farouk, and the Hart Foundation takes on the team of the Undertaker, Dude Love, and Stone Cold Steve Austin in a flag match.
Viewer discretion is advised.
Hello, and if you are new here, I am Xavier. I am not so new to wrestling. This is Kelsey. She is the new in new to wrestling, and
our
this week,
guest star today is Xavier's blanket.
I'm choosing to be cozy today, and
I love that for you.
I will not defend myself.
Aim it. Look at the tea, the blankie. I'm living for this.
Thank you. For those of you listening, very fall vibes, I guess.
It's giving fall.
Yeah, 100%. We said October and we've completely shifted gears. I have now accepted that summer is over. It's fine. I'm fine.
I can't believe you said that out loud. So upsetting.
I know. So this week's episode opens with a promo, a black and white vignette, if you will, of how Bret Hart could be so hated in one country and so beloved in another. It's really the question that we've been, I guess, told to think about and
ruminate on. Yeah.
Yeah. It's not dissimilar from the promo we got last week. It was very much of the same ilk, I guess we'll say.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I didn't dislike it. I just was like, we know we're here. But this
more
is
of disdain
emanating from Canada, so we gotta play it up.
Yeah, it's interesting the beef that they are putting between Undertaker and Bret, because obviously they're going to be wrestling for the title belt at SummerSlam, and it's almost like, I mean, really the only reason they're fighting is because Bret wants to be the champion again. They don't really have any beef. It's just that Undertaker has the belt and Bret wants it.
Right.
So the way that they do the vignette is kind of just their own separate stories, but somehow they're colliding.
Right.
So it is kind of not, I don't want to say ambiguous, but it's kind of just that's what it is. I don't know. It's kind of funny. There's no vendettas or anything like that.
No, not between the two, because they both very much so have just bigger shit going on the sides. Both of them have bigger fish to fry, really, which is kind of interesting when you're talking about the world championship not being the most important thing. You know what I mean?
No, it's so true. It's so true. The world championship not being the biggest thing, and it's the match for the pay-per-view.
Right.
Isn't between the two people, the beef is not the beef. Right. But and then later we'll get into they bring Bret's beef into that match in an interesting way, which we'll get to. But
right.
That's such a good point. Yeah.
The Canadians really came out with the signs this time. What was the one about Sunny in the opening seconds of the show? It
said too much Sunny can make you go blind.
Got it.
He was it was like a parable, or you know what I mean?
Like a proverb.
Yeah, yes, thank you. It's too much. I was honestly, claps. Love that one.
Absolutely.
And he used proper grammar. He put Sunny in quotes. You know, I live for that.
No, 100%. It's the attention to detail, if you will.
And you guys know I'm a sucker for that.
So our opening contest is Vader taking on Ken Shamrock. They toss this back way back to In Your House, A Cold Day in Hell,
I
which was the
forgot
first.
this happened.
Me too, which I mean, I'm glad they brought it back, I guess.
Yeah.
And then they
Hmm.
also had to remind us that this feud was ongoing because Ken broke Vader's nose. I believe either in that match or in another match where they have cross paths, but apparently this they got beef and Vader
I
wants his
forgot.
hands on Ken. And I was like, oh, okay, I get that now. I wish it
This was a
wasn't
moment I
so
needed the
spaced
reminder.
out, but yes. um
Yeah. And like I remember us talking about it briefly because they brought up again how like Vader had broken his nose in 5 places, and I was like, I thought there was only broken or not broken in
no,
terms of the nose.
100%.
Like I don't know, I didn't know it could be broken in so many different places. Like,
No,
but I was
100.
like,
I didn't
and
know
I
that the
remember
nose had so many places.
right, and it sparked the memory because I was like, we definitely talked about this because I had the same sentiment when that happened, and I was like,
Mhm.
the memories are clicking into the places. I'm here.
Right. We got another scintillating promo from Ken Shamrock. More knuckle up time.
No,
That's all it is. It's more of the same.
I hate it. I'm
It's
sorry.
fine.
And Ken is like he's coming into his own, I feel,
Very
but
much
Knuckle
so.
Up Time needs to go. It
Needs to
needs to
go.
go so
And then
bad.
Vince or Jim tried to repeat it on commentary, and it's just like, no, stop. Stop trying to make that happen. It's not gonna
Yeah, it's like
happen.
they said like Ken basically kind of what we were saying like in the match. He's like Ken's holding his own. He's gearing up for Knuckle Up time, and we were like no.
Oh, and
Xavier literally said stop trying to make Knuckle Up happen. It's
no,
not gonna
like
happen,
it's
Gretchen.
like it's not gonna happen.
It's
I'm
not gonna
so
happen.
sorry.
It's
And like
horrible.
someone I just needs to like when he's like giving a pro like it can't be like high school like chemistry teacher monotone. Like it just can't. Like it
Mm,
we need dynamics. Like even when it's like
yeah,
really loud and like over the top, I'll take that over like just
this.
it's knuckle up time. I'm gonna beat you.
It's almost
Yeah.
like jazzy. Like I don't know because the
Ooh,
thing is
I could see that like a late night like jazz band playing like
yeah, but he's like,
underneath.
but it's not even he's the like the band, like the singer. He's like the MC between now this next act
No,
is a
100%.
three-piece band from like
Right.
it gives that and not that I don't like that, but as the world's most dangerous man, it's like you either have to be like aggressive and over the top, like sweaty
Like we
and
already have
veiny and
Frasier. Like
whatever,
I don't need like I don't need it in wrestling.
or and if you were like the world's most dangerous man, like kind of quiet killer.
Mm,
That also like you need to evoke a certain energy and it's just not giving that. Like if you really want to be
100%.
like scary, almost like monotone, like but there's still an energy you should be emulating and he's just not there.
Right. So
Knuckle up time.
more on the work in progress that is Ken Shamrock.
Yeah.
Um
Sorry, Ken.
no, yeah, obviously. There's another sign that says the Undertaker is a necrophile. I mean, like, I guess that's on brand, but I like really out of pocket. But like,
I mean, no, really bold. The signs were Nova Scotia. What's going on
really,
there?
really came out.
What came for everyone's necks? I was annoying at one point because I was just reading them like a book, like
No,
because
I
they were
love that.
all so good. There was another one on that's for this match. Shamrock fears my dad.
Oh, I love that. I
That's
absolutely
so
love that.
funny. Like that's
Hmm.
silly and funny, and I love it.
I love that. I can't wait because the signs just get as the product gets more out of pocket, so do the signs. You know, like
Mm,
they
the
like
art is
embolden each
influence.
other, you know what I mean? So,
Yes.
I'm very excited for one, just more crowd interactions, and two, just how out of pocket these signs are going to get before they have to start blurring them on television.
Oh, love. I have a question.
Shoot.
It's because I feel like, and I could be wrong, I feel like signs aren't a thing anymore,
They
like as
are
much.
not as much. They really like took like
A
a
nosedive.
dip for like a while, and I think that had to do with the WWE going back to being like the PG era, you know? So I feel like a lot
Mm,
of people like just couldn't get the good signs in anymore. Um
heard.
because they
Because
would
I've been
just get
thinking of
like
some.
at the door, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
yeah, definitely not as prevalent a thing. But we'll see maybe when they start popping off on Netflix. We'll see.
Oh, Netflix. Yes.
Because Raw's
I
going to be on Netflix and Raw's typically like, taped live, obviously. So if you know you're only going to be on Netflix for that one thing, like just
I'm
saying.
going crazy. Because I've had some ideas where I was like, if we go when we go back to a live match, I'm like,
Hmm.
I have some ideas for signs that aren't like mean
SummerSlam
or
next year is
whatever.
going to be at the wherever the Giants play,
The
Meadowlands.
Meadowlands.
Hmm.
I would do that.
It's two
I,
nights.
I would go broke for SummerSlam.
Yeah, honestly.
I'd go broke for a lot of things.
It honestly on both of our ends does not take that much provocation to just
No, it's
absolutely
horrible.
throw all of that to the
Yeah.
wind and be like,
And we enable each other so bad too. Like you'll be
100%.
like, "Do you like this?" I'll be like, "Yes."
No,
Like
100%.
in
And
me, like I'm
were
obviously like I'm the wrong
you
person to ask.
it's less like you'll ask but you want like a scene like like I feel like that's how what sells it.
No, okay. I ask Xavier when, like, I ask Xavier if I should buy things because I want to buy it, but I want him to paint me a word picture of how I will either like wear the clothing or put it in my house or like
Hmm.
whatever. I don't have to ask for
No,
that. He just
I
knows to do it and does it every time. And I'm like, sold.
love it,
Like, a
absolutely.
pair of boots, he'll be like, "Oh, you could wear that." He goes, "I picture like a little skirt and like a like it," and I'm like,
Hmm.
"Yes,
Hmm.
thank you,
Yes,
thank you,
that's exactly. No, I love that. No, it's
thank
very true.
you."
But I feel like it's that sells it, you know? It's the it's
Yes.
like a
Oh,
salesman. Like I'm giving you
the
my
practical
pitch.
use.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yes, and
Hmm.
it's funny because the pitch like doesn't affect you necessarily. Like you're
No,
not like
not at
trying to
all.
make a sale. Like you're
Like
trying to
I'm
up my
getting ad dollars
vibe.
over here.
Yeah, you're
Uh
getting like a commission. So
no, just the
funny.
sheer like one because I get like early access to the outfit picks and then two like
Oh my God.
just knowing that like seeing it like in use out in the world. I'm like, fun. Very fun for
I
me.
appreciate that so much. This is my love language for real. I'm like,
Amazing.
I'm not gonna cry, but whatever. I'm
But
not gonna
you
make
know,
a big
like
deal. I like don't even care. I'm just gonna like write about this in my diary later and like it's
absolutely fantastic. Um, we said earlier that Ken was coming into his own, very much so, especially like in the ring wise. You're kind of like getting more like what his style is. I feel like he's getting better at
hmm
combining the like MMA stuff that he's like comes from and actually making it look believable like in a wrestling ring. Like he took Vader down with like a pretty impressive takedown that was like quick and I'm pretty sure like took Vader off guard because he got up and like started swinging real hard which made me think like he was annoyed about it. You know what I mean? Like he got embarrassed by the takedown.
Yeah. Oh, totally. That's such a good point.
Ken gets like thrown into the ring steps. Absolutely insane. Absolute
Yeah.
insanity.
Knew it was gonna be
Right. Paul Bear comes in with a shoe hit because he's loves to do that for some reason. Like keep
foul.
them dogs locked up. Thank you.
Oh my
That's
God. Keep the
crazy.
dogs in the kennel. I don't want to see it. I don't want to
Ooh.
smell it. I don't want to know about it. It's
No,
disgusting.
100%.
And even
I
Jay,
should not hear them barking. Do not.
ugh, no, and even JR was like, he goes, "There's they smell like something."
No,
Like or whatever, and
100%.
was like, and I know the smell without you having
Hmm.
to
Hmm.
describe it.
Hmm.
Ugh,
So
hate the show.
ridiculous.
Hate it.
Ken pulls off like a pretty sick like power bomb like reversal. And then
Yeah. Oh my God, yeah.
hits Vader with a belly to belly, also very impressive because Vader is a big boy.
He's a
Um
biggin.
And then he goes into like grapevine the leg. And then of course Paul starts interfering again. Ken, however, was having none of that and goes outside of the ring and gives Paul a couple for his trouble. Um,
And thank God.
because
And the ref goes like this. What?
100%.
I didn't even know Paul was here. What?
That's what I'm
Never seen
saying.
that guy in
All
my
I know,
life.
this like Kane tea is piping hot if the Undertaker is still not giving Paul the sauce at this point. So
Tea, that is
mhm.
such a good point.
Because he should have been had the sauce by now. He's still
Oh,
running
you're
his mouth
so
week after
right.
week. So
You've unbalanced my boy, and I don't like that. You've
mhm.
unsettled him, and I don't like that. And I
Right.
didn't like you in the first place.
No,
I didn't.
100%.
And clock that. I never did.
Mm-hmm.
But
100%.
you've unsettled my man, and I don't like that.
Yeah, for real. For real. We have a couple
Mm-mm.
more highlights from this one. Vader basically like power bombs Ken Shamrock like out of the ring, just onto the ring
Mm-hmm.
apron on the other side of the ring. He hits the deck. And then Bulldog comes out while Vader is distracting the
Ooh,
referee, and power slams Ken Shamrock on the ring ramp. Wild.
the ramp.
Also very
Oh,
loud. Don't know how the referee. I mean, I know it's a work, but still, just cracks me up that the referee is just like, I didn't hear anything. That's so
I
crazy.
didn't. He's like, oh my God, what? Oh,
Oh,
anyway,
like
get
was
in
that like
here.
a bird? Like I'm so lost.
Did somebody sneeze? Bless you.
No,
Like,
100%. Just giving us absolutely nothing. But that allows Vader to pick up the victory. And then we are presented with what was like a fever dream. Because we are presented with a new superstar promo of Brackus. And I it just all I have is German, and then my next note is what did he say? Because I could not tell you at what point in the promo he switched from English to German. I honestly didn't know he wasn't speaking German in the beginning.
the whole
And
time.
so, yeah.
It was
Um
only it was like, when people are speaking a foreign language and but there's like an obvious like English term for something. So they're like, "Brrr," and then it's like Brooklyn Bridge. Da-da-da.
right.
Like, and you're
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
ah,
yeah,
like
yeah,
it
yeah,
like
yeah.
takes you out of
Mm-hmm.
it. But that's like the
100%.
name for. So he was speaking in German, and then he was like, he said something about like the Hart Foundation.
Mm.
And I was like, wait.
Yeah,
And then it made me second guess myself that he was speaking English and I just didn't understand him. But then I was like,
right.
no, no, I think it was that phenomenon where
No,
it's like,
100%. No, he fully like threw us for a loop. I was just like, hello? Yeah,
but
so I
he's
guess,
basically just Arnold Schwarzenegger,
yeah,
basically,
it's
is the vibe
Brackus.
he gave.
I
Is
just,
Brackus.
no, fully, like that was it. That's all we got. And I was just like,
That's it.
oh, I don't like that we're like interjecting all this like nationalistic characters again. Like I don't like, you know what I mean? Like the
Well,
Patriot and
yes.
like Brackus, and like
We
the Hart
were
Foundation's gone full Canada. Like I can't, like it's a lot. Like I
No, it
didn't.
is. And we were just talking about this on the when we did the Vince McMahon documentary and how we
Mm,
were like that there was a time in the WWE where it was just like all the heels were foreigners and
hmm
all the baby faces were like stout patriots.
hmm
Like or staunch patriots is the word I'm looking for. It's like and
Yeah,
it kind of it's so funny you say that because when Brackus came through,
Brackus.
I was like, is this what's happening again? Even though
hmm
we
It
know it
feels
didn't.
very that.
It's not that it didn't work because there was definitely a time where it did, but they like definitely dipped
Definitely
their
had moments
toes.
where they stuck their foot in it, you know?
Yes, yes. And so I was like, I don't know. Again, I don't want someone's country to just be their personality and like their whole gimmick.
Right, right, right,
It's
right,
just
right.
kind of like we've said it before, the Canada thing, even like the well is running very dry.
No, 100%,
I
100%.
love the idea of the flag match, the capture the flag match. Like that's
Yeah, that
kind of
was
funny because
fun.
again,
Yeah.
it's like, but it's again the well, there's not much left. Like
Right, right. After this, like what are we doing? Um
right. So I hope that's not what's
Speaking
happening.
of, the Hart Foundation is going to be interviewed by Vince Sort of, kind of. Vince didn't really get much of a question answer kind of setup going. He was basically just like, the mic, Brett. Here you go, home in
Here's your
Canada.
mic, Brett.
No, like fully
Uh,
served on a platter for you. And we were like, okay,
Crazy.
a little bit weird, but right. He says
Yeah.
it feels so good to be in God's country and that last week was a nightmare in San Antonio. Basically, he goes on to talk about Americans being full of crap, and that his biggest example of this is that no American in the locker room wanted to step up to the plate and answer his challenge for a six-man flag match here in Canada. No one will just step up and challenge the Hearts in Canada. They can't do it. It's just too much. So interesting. So he goes and calls out the Undertaker and he's like, we don't have to wait. Like, we could just do this right now. Love to see it. Short, sweet, to the point. Bulldog is
hmm
asked essentially the same question. He goes on to just be like, "You saw what I already did. It's you tag. You're it. Ken, let me know." And then they then they go right, and then they go on to Owen, and like Owen, like I feel like just wasn't expecting it to be like him also, because he just said like
Yeah.
he basically just like copy my homework but change it a little. You know what I mean? Like his brother's like
Yeah, but
promo essentially.
he like the thesaurused like different words for what they said. Like,
Hmm.
you know what I mean? Like when it's like instead of like protection, like they were like safety. Like he
Right.
just like
Right. Fully. So it was a lot of the same kind of like scenario. And then at the end, he really like kicked it up a notch. Because he was talking about Stone Cold like kissing his butt, and he's like, "Oh, like you won't kiss my butt, but you can suck on my toes." And you're like,
he said you while you're kissing my butt, you could also take some time and suck on my toes. Like it got very
I didn't realize it was a fantasy. I had no idea.
Oh
That's
yeah, no,
crazy.
I was literally like
Like, okay.
and that's why I was like, oh, he's getting so kinky out here. He was backed
No,
into a corner
I,
and he said, my way out is fetish. Like he
no,
was like,
100%. He
yeah, kiss
said,
my ass, and while you're at it, suck on my toes.
he's
While you're
like,
there.
maybe
I'm just throwing it out there. Like you don't have to, but if you were interested,
you could. Just say,
it would. I literally put Owen, girl.
listen, they're out here.
Girl.
They're out
I'm
here.
not here to kink shame anybody. I'm not. And I know they're
Hmm.
out there. My God.
Hmm.
But
100%.
I'm just like not. Everyone's like, you can come out here and we can fight right now. And everyone's like, you can come out here and you can suck on my toes.
No, 100%. It's just like, whoa.
Don't waste any time. Let me take my boot off. And coincidentally, his boot ends up coming off in his
In
match
the
later.
match. He was
He
trying to get at
loosened his
it.
shoelaces preemptively.
He was just like, he's like, let me make it easy for
Whoops.
you. You know what I'm saying?
Let me slip into something more comfortable for you.
Halftime
Don't.
food. It always like throws me off when like a wrestler's like wardrobe has like a thing, because it really does feel like you're watching like a movie and like the one of the actors just rolled up like without a shoe, or like it just like
Yes. Oh my
feels so
God.
weird, like
Yes.
feels like my action figure is broken, like I don't know. Like it's weird. um
Yeah. Agree. It's very
where did we go from
strange.
here? Oh, so
Oh,
after, oh, go ahead.
there were also, I want to mention two more signs. I'm gonna do this a lot because there were some goodies, but one just said, I'm so drunk.
I know, love
Love.
that, love that.
Self-awareness. And then
No,
there was
not
another one that said,
no, not self-awareness. He like called his play. He said, "I'm gonna preemptively make that sign, and I'm gonna make it so it's true." Like no. Like that man sat there and made a sign that's like, "I present tense am so drunk," so that he could bring it
like
to the
a week.
wrestling show and like fulfill his destiny and be drunk.
And what a role model.
No,
He followed
100%.
through. He was like, oh my God, that's so funny. Self-fulfilling prophecy.
We love that.
Self-fulfilling prophecy. We love to see it. Amen. I love
Mm,
you, sir. I
no,
love you. I'm wishing you
honestly.
so well, except you might not have a liver anymore. But
Maybe, possibly. We'll see.
beep, boop, boop. But there was another sign that said, Sable is able, so let's get raw.
Jail.
Jail. Jail.
Jail.
Jail.
Jail. No, we're gonna talk about a little
Jail.
thing called consent, guys. How about Sable is able
Let's get.
and willing? How about that? We need an and
How
willing,
about
please.
Sable is able to sue you for what you've done?
Jail.
How? Jail. Okay, next time, anytime we have a bad sign, now I'm just gonna go jail.
Jail.
And then we'll just that's
move
it.
on.
Jail. So bad.
So Stone Cold comes out to take up the mantle for the USA. He comes out and says, the truth is, I'll shove your toes up all your asses. Love to see that. That shit's so funny. And then he's like, I'll be a part of your little flag match. Sure, like I have no problem.
Weehoo, yeah.
He's out here. He's like, I was just looking for an excuse anyway. Like, please tell
Swear,
me.
I'm looking to fight anybody anyway, so
No,
let me jump
100%.
in.
Love to see it. So we know that Stone
Love.
Cold will be taking on the Hart Foundation when he finds some partners, which we know he's not historically good at. Not that he looks, to be fair.
Like, not that he even attempts.
Or yeah,
but
or
you miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
No,
Yeah.
100%. Yeah. Oops. So next we find out that both the DOA and Las Boricuas have been suspended due to their actions last week. Love to see it. Gorilla Monsoon said, let's put that on ice for a week, like see how that shakes out.
Yes, swear, because that was a little crazy. And also somebody's got to get the bike repaired. I don't know.
100%. And then they give us a full recap of the events of last week. Love to see it. So funny how that shakes out.
So fun. I cracked
Savio's
up.
A1 acting out here. He's really just giving us the sauce. Someone give him an Emmy.
So funny.
When
they're like, "Oh no, a terrible accident," and then the band's over. It's just one of them beating the motorcycle with the trash can.
So good.
So I cracked up again. It was funny all over again.
No, love to see it. And then we are informed that at SummerSlam it is going to be an 8-on-8 match between the two factions. And Kelsey made a good point that she thinks that the two bald ones from the DOA are twins, and I really didn't notice until like now, because I thought they were just like two tall bald guys. I didn't think like they were of the same clan, you know? I did not know they were kin.
Well, I've never looked at them that closely because like I don't know exactly. And but then now like the term when you call them the Bopsy twins
really fits.
Again, self-fulfilling prophecy. Like it just it's just true. I looked at them and I was like, hold on a minute.
Mm-hmm.
They actually look the same. And then I was like, are they? So right. I mean, I guess we have to figure this out, but because we still don't even know who they are. Never was introduced to any of them except Crush. She's the only one.
Wait. Hold on.
Memory unlocked. It's happening in real time. I'm so thrilled right now.
Hold on.
I love when this happens.
Saw something. 8-Ball, Chains, and Skull are the three other members of the DOA. 8-Ball, Chains with a Z, and Skull.
No, not the Z.
It's Chains with a Z. Yep.
Say that this is gonna be their names. We're like, it's probably like Steel, Barb.
Told you. 8-Ball, Chains, and Skull. And Crush is to round it out for you.
They sound like like an Axe body spray line.
They sound
No,
like a
like
Foley soundstage. Like, what do you mean? Like, they're
they're
not
like
people, they're just sound
they're
effects.
just
They're like an old Batman cartoon.
oh
Bang,
my bangs,
bang,
chains,
the
like
pow. Like,
oh my God, not chains with a Z. I'm dead.
oh, horrible, horrible. I knew I saw it somewhere, and I'm glad it was readily available. I
Wait,
was like, wait a minute.
it's 8 ball, chains, crush, and what's the other
Skull.
one?
Just skull.
One.
Just
We have
skull.
multiple chains, one skull. Oh my
Oh.
God, this is the best possible.
So next time they come out on the little motorcycles,
Oh my
I
God.
hope if they get like little like what am I thinking of? The license plate that have like their names, but like little like give me like abbreviations. Like I want
Yes, like
yes.
CHNZ,
Yes, chains.
8, and then BLL.
Right. Skull's just
CR, oh my God,
SKLL.
CRSH.
Oh, love that.
Oh, yeah, SKLL.
You just lose the U.
Oh my God. Why is this so funny to me?
Because it's so absurd. Because because they gave you the most just like generic bully monikers you could give people. It's so good. Oh my
But it's so
God.
funny too, because like we literally said we're like their names have to be like leather,
No,
like
100%. And bingo bango. The proof is in the pudding.
oh man, I'm literally crying. That's so funny.
So,
I loved it. I just found out in real time. That is so funny.
oh my God, so crazy.
Oh God, I can't breathe. Jane.
So yeah, so it'll at SummerSlam it'll be 8 Ball, Crush, Chains, and Skull taking on Miguel Jesus. What are the other two? Jose and
It's your uncles.
I know what's the other one? There's so many.
Oh yeah. Miguel Jose Savi.
Oh, right. That's it.
Duh.
That's it. Right?
Oh. No, we're missing one, right? Miguel Jose Savi.
Oh, who's the last one? What's his name? I don't know.
I wish I knew.
That's fine. Doesn't really
I
matter.
do. It doesn't. Oh my God. I really can't stop thinking about Jane with a Z.
Chains. And we're back. I'm so sorry, everybody, that we're so stuck on this, but like, come on. Like,
I'm
come on.
sorry. I'm sorry.
So
Oh
good.
God, we have to change the subject or I'm literally gonna cry. So,
Love that. All
oh
right, so
God.
next we have the Battle of the Bryans, Brian with a Y, Brian with an I. Brian Walsh, who
Oh
is
God.
hometown hero, I guess. Taking on Brian Christopher. Brian Christopher decided to treat us to zebra print this week. He said, "Cheetah's out, zebras in." Um,
He said, I'm
and
trying something new.
100%. His father on commentary had a funny though. He said, "I'd rather play Naked Twister with all of the Golden Girls than spend like however many like whatever amount of time in Canada." And I was like, all right, I'll
I
give you
love it. And Jerry was funny this episode. I'll say it. I'll give it to him when I want to give it to him because there's another one later that is so funny.
no 100%. So
But he also says something about like, oh, I don't have any kings don't have sons. They have heirs. And Jared's
right,
like, no, exactly. Like, so he's your son. Like it still
right.
makes him your
It's
child. Like it was just
same but
so I'm
different,
so
you
sick of this.
weirdo.
Yeah, they had
So this match
heirs.
was it was pretty decent as far as like
Yeah.
your light heavyweights go. It was good. I was on the as far as the recent showings of Brian Christopher scale, it was less annoying than most, I guess.
It
Um,
was. He still did that nasty little laugh, and
yeah, but you can't. I don't think you're gonna ever be able to like remove that from his being. I think that's just ingrained.
because it's the demon that's possessing him.
No, yeah, 100%. It's gonna take something s- otherworldly to detach the two. So, no, for real. There was a little funny highlight of the match when Brian Christopher is thrown essentially crotch first into the corner. Very funny.
Oh, good.
And yeah. So then the match continues. Brian Christopher hits Brian Walshe with a top rope leg drop. Brian Christopher picks up the victory. He's really being like highlighted as like one of the like cornerstones of this like light heavyweight division, and I'm just like,
Hmm.
sure, sure, if you say so.
Right. Right, right,
Right.
right.
And
You
I was
can
like,
keep selling it to me. I'm still not sure if I'll buy it, but
right. Well, I mean, like maybe if you sold it in a less annoying package, I'd be more inclined, but
true,
right
so
now,
true.
not so much. And next we hear from the Truth Commission, which we have completely forgotten about because we were introduced to
My,
them a grand total of maybe two times and then just dipped. Like
two
never
times
heard.
like 8 months ago.
No, 100%. Never to hear from them again. They like they kissed you and moved. You know, like it was just very weird. Like it was just very like
And suddenly
weird
they're
being.
hitting my line saying they're in my city.
No,
And I'm like,
100%. And you're like, I moved on. Like I don't know
no,
what you're talking about. Like, but yeah. So we're apparently going to get another I guess occurrence of the Truth Commission. They're back. They're gonna come. But then
tell the truth.
sure. But I love that, but it also feels very like conspiracy theorist, or at least maybe that's like maybe me today thinking like truthers are
Mm.
like conspiracy theorists. So it just is making me think like maybe they're just like on some hype shit. Like they're just like not like they're just
Yeah,
not.
yeah, yeah. Oh, so true.
But also more likely than not, it is just another faction from another country. And there won't be much
Right.
more thought put into it other than that.
More other people from other countries coming across as maybe mean.
No,
So,
100%. And next we are absolutely treated to essentially the Dude Love origin story. So if you had
love.
missed the three-part interview that JR did with Mankind, it was basically like a summation of all of that. Basically goes into I love that Vince takes the opportunity to take shots at the other places that Mick Foley has worked while
Crazy.
simultaneously giving him this like whole promo. It's really like the hand giveth taketh away, you know what I mean? um
Yeah, it's very like watch this hand and then this one punches you right in the
no,
gut.
100%. It's like we'll compliment you, but mm.
Is me.
um So yeah, it's crazy because he talks about like Cactus Jack having like a modicum of like success in like WCW Japan. I was like, Cactus Jack was like the number one villain in WCW for like years. Like for
Years.
years was like vying for the world title for years, years and years, and then went to
Yeah.
Japan and went over like hotcakes. So I don't know like why you feel
Yeah,
the need to
he
do this. Probably because you're who you are, but um.
probably
It
because of the way you are.
Right.
It's my favorite thing.
But it really does like I have a note that's just like it really breaks down like the psychology of Mick Foley. You get into
Hmm.
like the dude love like origins at 18, the like the psychoticness of Cactus Jack and all of those matches, and then how he comes to the WF and becomes Mankind, all bundled nicely in a nice little package. Very, very good.
Yeah.
They transition out of that promo because it ends with obviously current day when he surprises Stone Cold Steve Austin and they win the tag team championships. But it they come out of that promo and was like, was Dude Love like a one night stand? Like, will we see like more of him? And then they're like, and what does his partner think of all of this? And I love this because it cuts to like Stone Cold, like he's doing like a green room interview where he's just like, I couldn't believe what I saw last week. And you're like, this is crazy. And then
So
he
funny.
basically just like he's like, I stunned him twice and he still wanted to be my partner. He's like, I don't know what's wrong with you, but I do know that you have what it takes to get the job done.
Hmm.
And then he basically, give Dude Love his respect. And he's basically has to, because he's Stone Cold, give an asterisk. And it's like, but I still don't want a partner. Like,
Yeah, he goes, let me go. Let me be clear. I still don't ever want a partner. Ew.
right.
Like, bleh.
100%.
So good.
100%.
I love him.
Next we get a recap of the Legion of Doom getting attacked by the Godwins before their match with the new Blackjacks that never got off the ground. And then we get a quite just a delightful backstage promo between the Legion of Doom.
Love them.
Basically, it starts with Animal. Basically, they're like, it's obvious what you're trying to do. He's like, you're not gonna put this man out of wrestling. And then they go to Hawk, who I now just realize like why I love him. He just sounds like Popeye the Sailor Man. Like that's it's just Popeye. I feel like he's just doing a Popeye
Oh
impression.
my
Um,
God. You're so right.
Right, and I loved Popeye as a kid. I
Me
think like something
too.
about like the way that he like presents, he's like, well, and you're like, boop boop, you know what I
Like he's
mean?
gonna
Like,
open the can of
and he talks out
spinach.
of like the side of his mouth the same way Popeye does. Like it's kind of
Yes.
interesting.
Give him that
Um,
little pipe and like it's
mm-hmm.
over.
I
You're so
and the way
right. I
he
feel so
started,
safe.
I know the way he started this, he was like, I've been slop dropped, and I was like, okay, go off. And yeah, so he goes on to say like the first time we broke your neck it was an accident. He's like the second time you're gonna see it coming. Like, and we were like, oh,
Yeah.
love that. You done messed with the
Love.
wrong ones. There was also
I
a
l-
really funny line about Animal's
oh yeah.
neck, I think. What you have it
Yeah,
written, go ahead.
he was like something like he wants to like you want to break like our necks whatever. He goes and you want to try and break his neck if he had one.
Right, so
Like
good,
Hawk says that about Animal,
so
which is
true
so
though.
funny because
It's so
Animal
true.
is just
Just
he's
nothing but
so big.
so be.
He's just a bowling ball. I love him so much. I love both
No.
of them. And the paint is clean. The face paint is so clean. I would love to watch them do that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's just it's so crisp.
Love that. Love that. Love
I
that. I love
respect the
that in
art.
any generation, the Legion of Doom is just over. Doesn't matter when we watch them. We
Period.
just love
Doesn't
them.
matter when, where, what country, what time, like anything.
No,
They
honestly.
are
Love
nothing
to
but
see it.
net.
So next we have the three-way tag team match between the Godwins, the Blackjacks, and the Headbangers. This one was chaotic AF.
Yeah.
Mosh came out in a cute little dress. Love to see it.
So
Um,
so cute.
100%. We're also just absolutely delighted with a Headbangers promo before the match, a little like a quick one. I feel like I love this is where they're like the best. Like don't give them too much time to speak, but
No, no, no. A
let them be
nibble.
idiots for like 30 seconds and it's great.
Mm-hmm.
They say that they're running on 38 minutes of sleep, so they're fresh as daisies, ready to take on the
Mm-hmm.
challenge. So love to see it. Um, this was, yeah, it was just chaotic. There was like so much going on that it was like just generally hard to follow, but it was kind of a fun match, not gonna lie. Because
Yeah,
it had
totally.
all three, like a member of each team in the ring at all times, which made for just absolute mess. Love to see it.
Mm-hmm.
Some highlights. I have Henry hits Thrasher with a flapjack. Oh, and then I have a note that says Mosh has a great ass, which was really for me, but I've shared it now, so here we go.
I have
Um,
to live with it. Now all of you do too.
no, 100%. Oh, Jerry has a funny on commentary because he goes, I always wondered what was under that dress in reference to Maj. And then JR immediately goes, you did?
He's like,
um,
how interesting you
right,
would say that.
100%.
That is so
So
funny.
funny. JR makes a a observation that the tag team match is kind of like perpetual motion, like they never stop moving.
Mm-hmm.
In which case Jerry turns around and goes just like Jim Ross's mouth, and you're like, oh,
Ooh.
I wish I was, next to a drum set. It was great.
But
No, fully. I have a note that just says the headbangers take themselves out, and then the Godwins pick up the victory
it
over the
was
New
very
Day
confusing
Jets.
ending.
So yes, it
I was
was.
like,
Yeah,
what?
yeah. It was kind of the night for confusing endings. And
So
so
true.
that means that the Godwins are the number one contenders for the tag team championships. So at some point in the near future, we will see them take on Dude Love and Stone Cold Steve Austin. So
Love.
what
Love to
a
see it.
what a contest. I think it actually might be next week because they made mention that if the Godwins win, then they take it on to their match at SummerSlam against the Legion of Doom. So,
Word. Love.
next we are absolutely treated to Shawn Michaels in Canada. There are a few things quite like it,
Hmm.
because they hate that man. They really, really do.
Hate
And
him
it,
so bad.
it runs deep. It runs very, very deep.
That's it. River deep, mountain high.
No, 100%. Um, so he comes out, he's got a groundbreaking announcement. He's got stuff he needs to say. Um, he basically, first of all, he starts the promo off by calling Jim Girth Brooks, and I giggled. It was silly. And I know that they're great friends, so I'm sure JR was fine.
And it's just
But
like it's not like Garth Brooks is a bad person. It's just kind of funny. Like,
no, yeah, no,
it's not like
100%.
he was just like, be quiet, Garth Brooks.
No,
Like that's
100%.
just like silly. I don't know.
So basically he goes on to talk about how like um basically he's just like the USA will take anybody on, doesn't care. Like we'll take all your misfits and your weirdos, and basically went on to list every like degenerate category of society he could think of, really, especially at this time. And then he sums it up basically with a big fat Canada sucks. Love to see it. He was like a little kid, all excited to say it, I swear.
Yeah, he
And
was.
then he volunteers himself for the flag match, and Jim Ross tries to like wrap up the interview, and Shawn was like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa." He's like, "You thought that was it? You should know me better than that by now." I was
And
like,
honestly,
"I
he
wasn't
kind of
gonna give
should.
you that like lower tier, like no announcement." So basically he's like, as you all know, I've been begging to be a part of SummerSlam, and like nobody will get back to me. So he's like, once again, I have appealed to those above me to please give me a role in SummerSlam. And then he announces that he's going to be a special guest referee at SummerSlam. And Jim's like, okay, but like for which match? Then
No, and
Shawn,
me because like literally he goes, I'm gonna be a guest ref, and he walks away, and I go, what match? What match? You guys, I was
no,
literally
fully.
screaming. I was like, but what match? And then Jared goes,
Mhm.
hold on, but what match? And I was like,
Thank you.
thank you,
Thank you.
JR, for your journalistic integrity. Get him back here.
No,
It's
100%.
like,
I have questions. So
where? You can't just drop that and
no,
leave.
100%. And then it is he drags it out as he does. He's like, there's the
Duh.
bottom of the card, there's the middle of the card, there's the top of the card, and then he's like, and then there's
The
the main
drama.
event. And he's like, and Shawn Michaels only works the main event. So I will be the special guest referee for Bret Hart versus The Undertaker for the WWF Championship. Big
Girl.
T, big T, big T.
The mess. The mess
Yes.
is crazy. Again, it's one of those moments where I was like, if I was Brett, I would be livid. I would
And
be
he was.
livid. I would be livida loca. Like, I would be so
No,
pissed.
100%.
So pissed.
Right.
And like even with the stipulation, so like the stipulation is like, and they said if I don't call the match like fair and square, right down the middle, blah blah blah, I can never wrestle in the US again. It
Hmm.
makes like a joke about how I'll have to move to Canada and live amongst you people. And everyone's screaming, booing, blah, blah, blah. And he goes, I'll
Right.
even rent the house next to Brett so we can like all live together
Mm-hmm.
in Canada, whatever.
Right.
But I was like, even with this, excuse me, even with the stipulation, mm, I would be so, because like
Right.
that's crazy. That
Mm-hmm.
is so crazy, just objectively. And I know
Right.
that's why they did it, but like,
Right. So crazy.
that's insane.
Mm-hmm. And then because he is who he is, he essentially breaks the fourth wall, looks right into the camera, and goes, "If you can't trust Shawn Michaels," giggles, basically, "who can you trust?" And you're like, "Sir,
Girl,
sir, mm-mm,
girl.
crazy."
I said famous last words, girl. You are gonna
Mm-hmm.
eat like because now again, if you didn't watch Vince McMahon After Dark, like I know things now that I was spoiled to, but that's okay because it makes these moments good too. Like
Mm-hmm.
that I'm like
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Jonathan Michaels.
Jonathan
How
Michaels.
Jonathan Michaels.
Wow. Wow, wow,
Crazy.
wow.
I'm like
So,
flabbergasted.
So next is Triple H with China taking on the Patriot. We get a promo from the Patriot, and essentially he's like, "Pick better role models," and you're like, "Okay, got it."
It was so after school special, it like enraged me because he was like,
No,
I obviously
100%.
understand having pride for your country. You should. Let it,
It felt
and then he's
very
like,
like
but,
Steve Rogers,
and he was
like
like, the,
giving us
like
the
very Uncle Sam. And I guess like he's the Patriot. So like, sure.
sure,
But it was just like,
ew,
pick better role models. And you are,
100%.
whom are you? Who are you?
You are some beefcake they put in American flag tights, and then like, I'm sorry, was I supposed to care about what you have to say about anything? Like, that's crazy.
Yeah,
That's
crazy.
crazy.
That's
That's It's
crazy.
just weird that they just like dropped it. Like they've played up this Canada thing so much that they decided that they could like fever dream a character into reality as like the antithesis to this like Canadian patriotism is just to make a like I don't know. It's just so weird. It's just so
And into like the middle card. Like he wrestled against Triple H. What are you doing here? Like I don't
right,
know. I was just like you get to go right up to the bat against Triple H who's been beefing with like basically the gods, like everybody.
right.
Like and you get to just like pop in here which you're whatever, you're God
Hmm.
bless America and suddenly you get to go like
Right. So
I
crazy.
don't know. I don't like it. I don't like this flavor.
Um Yeah, so apparently the Patriots from like all Japan, like that's where he's been wrestling. Again, unfamiliar to this audience. So this match, I couldn't tell you what happens, heads or tails, because almost immediately Bret Hart comes down with the Hart Foundation and gets right in Vince's face, gets right
I
in
literally
there.
have
He
chills.
said, yeah, he goes and it starts screaming in Vince's face that Shawn has no business being the special guest referee. Like, this is a swerve. Like, like you're only doing this because like I'm gonna win, or like I was gonna win, and blah 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 blah. And like, so this is like he's losing his mind. Absolute like everyone's feeling like very nervous. Like the commentators are like muting and unmuting their mics to like try and commentate, but like not like overshare what's going on. And like, so the Hart Foundation just standing in front of the desk, hooting and hollering. And then at one point, Brett looks like he's gonna like walk away, and like he turns around, you hear him go, "You know what?" And like gets back in Vince's face, and then like smacks Vince's headset like clear off his head. And then the two start getting into like what is like a weird shirt tug of war thing because Vince is like behind a desk, and like so they're like literally like hanging on to each other, like trying to get like separated. The Hart Foundation is trying to rip Brett away from Vince. Vince like is like just like angry, like point yelling, like it's a mess. The whole thing's just absolutely chaotic.
It
Um,
was so crazy. And asked Xavier, I was like, was that real? Because it felt so real, especially because when Brett came out, and like usually when it's staged, quote unquote, or like planned, I feel like they leave their mics on so you can kind of hear what the other person is saying.
mhm.
Like, because even I'm thinking of like when Brett maybe when actually it was like one of them came out to defend the other one. So like either Brett was wrestling and Owen came out or vice versa. And he was
Mhm.
like, they were like, what are you doing out here? Like, don't you hate him? And he was like, he's my brother. But like
Right.
you could hear it because they
Right.
left their mics on. And so when they turned their mics off and you couldn't hear what any of them were saying, I was like, is this like not supposed to be happening right now? Like
It was very
it feels
chaotic.
like it felt so real, especially Vince getting up and getting so angry. And it felt, again, maybe just because we just watched the documentary, where I was like, that like angry Vince, that almost like character-esque Vince, like really freaks me out, like really gives me the ick. And when that like kind of was coming up, I was like, ew, like is that I can't tell if this is
Hmm.
the character or like this is your real face. Like I don't know.
Right.
Like it just really was it felt so real. And like
Right.
everyone's jumping in, refs are jumping in, like obviously the people are coming up from the back, like the Hart Foundation, the Patriot jumps in at one point. I was like, oh, I forgot there's even a match happening.
No,
And like
fully.
when Vince like finally gets back on the mic, he like won't say anything. They're like, are we good? Like, what do we do
Well, his
here?
mic
Like,
wasn't working.
whatever. But he also, yes, but he also like wasn't speaking. Like, he was literally
Mm.
just like, it wasn't like he
Mm.
was at first like trying to say anything and it just wasn't coming out. Like, he literally was like, mm-mm. And so I was like,
Right.
was this like, and I tried to look it up because you know me, and nothing came up. So I'm assuming it was just a really well done
Work.
bit, but like
Right.
my God, it really got me. I was like,
Uh-huh.
oh,
Love that.
scared me.
Love to see it. Love to see it. And it's so much so like the match gets thrown out and so like jarring. Jim is like you can hear him on commentary being like, are we cutting to commercial? Like, what are we doing? Like,
That's
which
what
is
I'm
funny because you never
saying.
really hear them communicate like with the truck. You know what I mean? So, felt very, like a peek behind the curtain. So we cut to like a commercial break, or rather, they toss it to Paul. And Jim, I guess, being frazzled from the segment prior, really, really came for Paul on this one. He's like, so you say you have proof, you've been yakety yakking all over the town about Kane. Like, okay, like, why should we believe you? And then Paul Bearer is like, are you calling me a liar? And he's like, more or less. Yes.
He
That's
goes,
the
yes, sir, I am, more or less, sir.
right, no, 100.
Which is
He's
so
he
me
said
also.
respectfully, yes.
Which I'll literally be like, okay, sir. That's like my favorite, like not mean, like I don't want to say slur, but like it's
Right.
almost like, okay, sir. I love the
Okay,
casual use of
sir.
sir. Like more or
So
less,
good.
sir, I am.
No, 100%. Like that shirt don't mean shit. That shirt don't
No, I mean
that shirt don't mean dick.
nothing. I'm still reading you down, like
No, 100%.
respectfully, sir.
So then he goes on to say that his proof is that the Undertaker and Kane, apparently being the freak shows that they are, like
Mm.
sat down on the playground one day and like had a totem, a statue of the Grim Reaper, split it in half, and decided to like that day forge like a promise that as long as either of them were alive, they would hold on to their piece of the statue. And then Paul Bear goes on to take his little satchel thing, his little velvet pouch, unearths his half of the statue, which is apparently Kane's half, which by your logic that you just explained to us all, does that not mean he's dead? Like, if they had made the promise that while either one of them was alive, that they would hold on to the statue, and you're out here holding the statue, does that not mean that that dude is dead, been dead? How'd you get the statue? Like, that is suspect. Are
I'm
you
gonna
the murderer?
say
Like, what are you
no.
doing? Like
Literally, it really is
you
giving like
can't
Paul Bear burned the house down. It's all staged.
the
It's
the
really
way
giving.
he unraveled his own logic, like immediately,
It's his favorite thing to do
he said
is tell on himself.
immediately, and you're just like, and then he's like, "See, I have the proof," and Jim's like, "That doesn't prove anything." So like, when are we gonna see this man? Like,
Thank you, Jim.
he goes. So when are we like seeing this man? And Paul's like, he's like, "You don't want to go there. You don't want to see Kane." And he's like, you don't want to see Kane. And he's like, and don't push me because I will. And then he starts like yelling, like,
I
I will,
will.
like we pushed him down a well, like, you know what I mean? Like
I will.
no,
Oh my
my
God.
leg, like
My
it's the
my
same,
leg.
same,
Wait,
same.
okay. But then like what are we doing this for? I'm just wondering if Kane like so we're never gonna meet Kane, you're saying? Like not that he's saying that because he's
Right.
like, I will, blah, but like he's like, you don't want to see Kane. It's like,
He
then what
said,
are
"You
we
don't want this
doing this?
smoke," and you're like,
Like, I do. I do. Like, what are we doing this for? You brought this up. You brought this to the table. I don't know what you want me to do
no,
because,
one
like,
hundred
what
percent.
are we doing this rigmarole for? I feel crazy. You're making me feel crazy, and I don't like that. And like this half burnt statue, he's like, oh yeah, it's like burnt from the ashes of the fire, blah blah blah. But I'm like, but there's still a leather braid on it to hold as a necklace that didn't burn
No,
up in the fire.
one
Like,
hundred percent.
and I know it's details, blah blah blah, but I was just like, what are we? This is stupid. I'm sorry. I hated
Mhm.
this because I was like, this is the proof. I
Right.
don't fine like
And there
fine,
is
I
not a
guess.
fiber of my being that's like they friendship bracelet a Grim Reaper statue. Like that's crazy. Like I don't.
There's
There is
no
no
way.
way that like I'm out here believing the Undertaker, even in his youth. In his youth, I imagine him to be more like Severus Snape than an actual child. Like that's,
Thank you.
you know what I mean?
Yes, it's
Like
very that.
right. Like less like whiny and weird, but like yeah, but like
Right. Yes, like
definitely like alt. You know
introspective.
what I
Yeah,
mean?
alt, internal, like very, yeah, alt is the right word for sure.
Right.
But like this, I again, it's like if we're never gonna see Kane, then why did you bring it up? Like
Like shut your
this is
mouth.
so
Just shut
just
your mouth.
and again, JR took me out and he was like, that literally doesn't prove anything. Bring me the man.
No,
Because
100%. He's like
what I'm not about to do is believe this, like
no,
whatever this is, especially
100%.
from you who double crosses for fun. Like
No,
I can't.
100%. Out
No.
here
Oh,
dropping people.
goodbye.
So next we have Goldust with Marlena taking on Farouk and Kama. And we get a delightful little promo from Goldust and Marlena, and Goldust goes like, do you happen to have just like a sexy, just a little number that Brian Pillman can wear?" And she's like, "You know what, I do." And then she like turns to the camera and she's like, Brian, like not only can you not fill out a dress, by the looks of it, you can't even fill out your tights." And you're just like, oh, she said,
Kill shot.
little dick.
He said, baby carrot.
Can someone get some hummus out here for that baby
That
carrot?
baby carrot. That is
So
literally one
good.
of my favorite reads of all time.
No, 100%.
It's one of my
So
favorite
good.
reads of all time in like a young adult feel like
No,
it's just so
one hundred
funny.
percent because it's so fast and so cold. It's so
Can
funny.
someone get this some hummus for this baby carrot? And everyone's just like
So
one of the
good.
greatest reads of all time.
No,
But
100%.
so amazing. I love Marlena so much. I've missed her dearly because she's kind of been absent for a little bit.
Hmm.
Like
Yeah,
she was
it's
like doing
other
the mom thing, which
teams. Yeah.
respectfully, but I
Um,
missed her. It was such a good one.
this was another one that kind of got sacrificed to the greater storyline. So
Yeah.
halfway through the match, Vince, not even, like Vince goes like, "Oh no," and like leaves the commentary desk all dramatic, like so we're like, "Oh great, like something's going on." And then The match is like continuing again, and Vince are so much like it is so distracting what's going on that at one point Vince or JR issues like an apology to like the fans listening at home, the wrestlers in the ring. He's like, we're very distracted and we apologize.
But that's
But
why it felt real. Like
mhm,
it just because like they couldn't even actually comment on the match because they were like literally trying to get the tea, like with what was
right.
going on backstage. And then the way Vince was acting when he was like, he seemed so man, if this was fake, like they really got me because he was like, well, I just don't think that Bret listened to what Shawn Michaels said. Like he had stipulations. Like he
Mhm,
just had that like really quiet, creepy, again, like what Ken
right.
Shamrock could be serving. But like just it chilled me to my
Mm,
blood. Like it just freaked me out. And then he was like, "Oh no." And got up and left. And then again, there it's like Jerry and JR were like trying to get the tea. So they weren't commentating on the match. And they're like, "Oh, sorry. We're really listening to what's happening backstage. Like, we're not." It
right.
just was so
And the tea
crazy.
was apparently that the Hart Foundation and or Bret Hart was seen coming out of Shawn Michaels like dressing room. Also, like I love that they were like was seen coming out of the dressing room, like as if it was like they were playing Clue, you know? Like it was just weird.
Yeah. It
Um
was Bret Hart in the locker room with his
right.
fists.
So so that essentially is just so distracting because um that's all they focus on for the basically the remainder of the match. At one point Marlena is
Hmm.
distracting the ref. The nation's like going ham on Goldust in the other corner. And then like they cut back to the match after like JR's like apology, and then Farouk hits the Dominator, and then like gets a pin, doesn't get a pin, immediately gets disqualified, which was weird. Goes for the
It was
pin,
really weird.
doesn't get it, and then gets disqualified essentially because of the like comma interference that happened earlier. It was just really weird. To me, they were like,
It
oh,
didn't make
cut.
any
They were
sense.
like, end this for time. They were like, end this now. We are gonna go over time. Like, you need to stop.
Yeah.
So and then it cuts to Shawn in the dressing room getting like essentially like picked up by like officials, and he's yelling at Vince also because apparently it's the night for it. And he's like,
Mm.
and he's just like, what kind of place are you like you running? Like this is like a zoo. Like how many times is this gonna happen? Like blah 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 blah. And you're like, honestly, like true. Um
I mean, period.
not no. It does keep happening to him.
Hmm.
So next we are in the main event. We have the flag match. So it's the Hart Foundation. They come out. The Bulldog holds on a sign that is essentially the Hart Foundation pissing on the American flag and holds it up for the entirety of the Canadian national anthem playing because Bret once again says from the top. So
Hmm.
he subjects us all to the Canadian national anthem. I've heard the Canadian national anthem more like in the last like month than I think I have in my entire life.
No,
Um,
100%.
in
The
its
last time I heard it
entirety,
this much was like maybe the Olympics.
right?
Maybe.
And even then, I was like, I don't think I heard it all. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I definitely,
Right.
um, sure. Thank you. I'm lodging a
Hmm.
formal complaint. You can't just play the national anthem whenever you feel like it. Like
Agree. And I'm saying even the United
all
States
of them,
one. I
all of them.
also
Like
none of
there
them.
is a
I don't want to
time
hear
and
any of
place,
them.
and you can't just be dropping it when you feel like it. All right, it's the beginning of the show, or nothing. All
Or
right,
again, you're medaling in the Olympics. That's amazing.
right,
Go for
100%.
your country.
No,
Love to see
one
it.
hundred
But
percent. Time and place. Either it's the beginning of the sporting event, or you won a medal for your country. Those are it.
yeah,
That's all I
if
want
you're running short on time for your show, maybe we don't have to play the Canadian national anthem.
in its entirety.
Hmm. So
Just saying. So then we find out that Dude Love will be the first partner that Austin will be forced to align himself with, as we love to see it. So the match starts off, it's very chaotic. The Hart Foundation is essentially all over the two. And then right before it cuts to commercial break, we hear the Taker gong, love to see it. And literally right before they cut to break, you hear Jim Ross go, "What?" And then it is very obviously seen that the Undertaker has joined Team America, and so he will be on the side of Dude Love and Stone Cold Steve Austin. And this match is just essentially just beating up Owen for like God, a really
Forever.
long time. Like a
Oh, like even
real
I was like, my brother, someone tag, like,
no,
free my
100%.
dog.
They
Like,
were
this is
they were
horrible.
beating up Owen. I was like, what did you do, Broseph? What happened? Like what?
Oh my God. I was starting to like just, and even I feel like the hits started getting a little softer. Like when Undertaker like chokeslammed, he kind of went
No,
like he kind of
100%.
like put him
He
down
started like
because
feeling
even he was
bad.
like, yeah, he was like, this might be going on a little too long
No,
here.
100%.
Oh my God, it was so
So
crazy.
there's a sign in the crowd that says Shawn is the sixth Spice Girl. Love to see it. Very silly.
Love that one. Loved that
Um,
one.
So Owen at one point makes a run for the flag while he's in the ring. Mankind essentially like low blows him and then just like immediately like just like does his like knee dance like over Owen. It's so funny because and it's just yeah, that one. Yeah, and Kelsey is just like imagine like getting knocked off the top rope and your opponent is above you doing that. Just
You come to and you're like, and they're just like,
so great. I
literally,
love that
oh
so
my God, I
much.
was laughing so hard because he just was like, instead of taking like the opportunity to like run for the flag or like do whatever, he just is like, hold on, let me dance, let me bust it out real quick.
Yeah, like it's so ridiculous. I love to see it.
Oh my God, I love it.
And
It's so
then
funny.
on commentary they go on to mention like, oh, Dude Love is one of Mick Foley's like many personalities. And then Jerry goes, sounds schizophrenic to me, but I guess he goes, better schizophrenic than to eat alone. And you're just like, like, okay. I was like, clever,
And
Jerry. Not gonna lie.
and
Like
this
I'm
is why I don't allow Jerry to make the low-hanging fruit jokes. I don't let him live with it because he can be so funny. Like that is so silly and like
right.
well, schizophrenia better than eating alone. Like I don't
Right.
know, that's
That's
just
that's
funny.
Carson
Like
right there. That's so good.
thank you.
But
And so
like
I don't let him get away with that stupid stuff
no,
because
100%.
He's better than that.
Yeah, except he's not. So
Except he's disgusting.
because
Except
more
he's
often
higher
than
though.
not, he really be gobbling up that fruit. So
So true.
no, 100%. I have a note that's just like Owen's boot undone. Owen's been in the ring a
Hmm.
long time. And then
Yep.
almost
Yep.
immediately as I finish writing that, Bret gets tagged in. Bret
Finally.
tries to do the corner figure four. Dude Love runs him over and just fully is
My
like, not
God.
today, not today, Satan. No, 100%.
A hit and run. It was crazy. Hit by a
Mm-mm.
bus.
No, 100%. We do get a little taste of the main event at SummerSlam when Taker and Bret Hart are in the ring for a short little while. Very excited about that match. Just because they're just both so good. You know when you get two people that are just that excellent at what they
Yes.
do, you're just they're gonna knock it out of the park.
Yep.
So at one point, Bret is trying to climb the flag for, Team Canada, go. And the Undertaker is trying to climb the flag for Team America, go. And so as that's happening, simultaneously, Brian Pillman comes from out of nowhere, low blows the Undertaker, allowing Bret Hart to take down the Canadian flag, thus winning the flag match in Canada. Who didn't see that coming?
Mm.
So, and that's kind of like where they leave us because that match actually took the show over time. So they actually had to stay on the air longer than they were supposed to finish that match.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, they said
I
it on the thing that they were gonna run over air, but they would stay with the match.
heard. I do kind of remember that. I wish they'd done more interacting, and maybe they did when Undertaker came out, but they were a commercial break between Dude
Mm.
Love and Undertaker. Because that
Yes.
is Undertaker's first time seeing mankind as Dude Love, and they had beef. I mean,
I know.
Mama, buried alive, boiler room brawl. They both have daddy issues with Paul. Like,
No,
I was
100%.
like, I would have loved to have seen more interacting with them. And again, we missed Undertaker's entrance because of capitalism. But
Mm-hmm.
like, so I don't know how they interacted, but like, that is so funny. Like,
Right.
The Undertaker, the dead man, and like, Dude Love on
I
a t
know.
like,
And
that's
you also made a good
hysterical.
point that was just like we never see the Undertaker in tag matches, so it was kind of fun.
Yes, never. Like, I can't think of the last time he did a tag match. Like,
It was, I
and it's
think,
always,
with like Vader.
I was gonna say when they were like under Paul's like manager or something, I was trying to
Hmm.
think, but it happens so rarely that it's like fun and even like more interplay between Stone Cold and Undertaker. Like, I just feel
Right.
like it didn't, because even when like Stone Cold and Dude Love did the tag, there was like so much like play between the two of them. Like, I don't know. I just like,
Mm.
I wish there was more interacting between those three people because Dude Love, Undertaker, and Stone Cold being Team
What a
America
fever
is
dream.
funny. Like,
Yeah.
that is crazy and so funny. And also, like,
So pro
kind of
wrestling.
America.
Right.
Like, kind of America. Like, Dude Love the
You're
hippie
goth,
and
you're like
like
redneck,
your
and you're
God,
hippie. Yeah.
yes. And of course, they all love to sit at the same lunch table reluctantly together, and they
No,
won't admit they love each
100%.
other.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it kind of is like it gave Dazed and Confused a little bit, like the
Mm-hmm.
movie. I don't know. I just like I wish there was like almost a bigger deal made of it, if that makes sense. But
I'm with
loved
you.
it.
I'm with you. I'm with you. So this has been another episode of the New to Wrestling podcast. Thank you for checking us out wherever you find us, whether you're watching, listening. Those are your options. Wherever you find us, we appreciate it. Thank you, and we will catch you next time.
We'll see you there.
Bye.
Bye. Xavier dropped Triple H. And look at this poncho, girl.
Grown man and his action figures. Like